Hi guys, it's Tamra, the Judeo-Christian medium. Of course, as soon as I turn this on, I feel like I have something in my eye. So tonight I have with me Miss Cheslie Kryst. And I usually clap, I don't know. Oh, sorry about the sirens. So she's with me, and it's not at that celebratory level yet where, I'm gonna clap for her. It's very bittersweet. So she's been with me for a little while. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't have a setup or anything yet. I've said the same thing for a while, but just trust me. I've been very busy. I am working on setting everything up for my channel. If you are just browsing and you don't know who I am a Jewish Christian medium. I'm very conversational. I have ADHD. I don't have a whole camera crew or not many people have a camera crew, but I'm not doing a professional job here. I'm conversational. I'm a medium. If that's okay with you, stay tuned. If you want something that's like a list and incredibly organized and very edited, I do recommend that. I'm sure other people have channeled Cheslie, so you can go watch them. I don't know. I didn't mean to make it. Oh, I'm moving my my phone. Sorry, guys. So I didn't mean to make it sound like my way or the highway. I just want you to be prepared. So anyway, so let's move on from that. Cheslie Kryst. I am delaying it a little bit. It's just hard to talk about. So guys, she is here. She's been with me. Now, when I say she's here, I don't see like her standing right here. I'm feeling her energy. I can kind of see her in my mind's eye. Oftentimes, she is a tall white, her galactic influence, and Arcturian. And I've seen a pattern with definitely Arcturians and tall whites, and especially if they're mixed. I see them coming in wearing white, and they love to look white and beachy and flowy. That combination of tall white and Arcturian, it's very beautiful. She was obviously very beautiful, but she's not like sitting with me. It's like it's in my mind's eye. I feel her. I kind of see her now. It's very hard to explain, but I did want to explain it. Oh, why am I explaining it? Because, people have asked me, and I understand this because I thought the same thing before I did this work. Like, if the person's there and you're a medium, why don't you just tell us like everything about this person? Like almost like I'm imagining like this brain machine. I don't know, in the old cartoons, they'd put like one person's brain with a wire onto another. Guys, it's not like that. I can't just like absorb everybody's thoughts, and especially in my own life, I don't just meet people and be like, I know everything about you. It's like spirit comes to me and they tell me what they want to tell me, and I ask them questions. And actually, like, my spiritual team, which is Jesus, Archangel Michael, Metatron, Archangel Eric Medhus, Archangel Gabriel, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, all the archangels. Lately, I've really needed help with like paperwork and stuff. So Sandalphon has been helping me, and Raphael's been helping me with my health. Cheslie is interfering. She said not interfering, interjecting. She actually has been helping me with my health. She told me to take something today. She's like, you gotta take that, it's good for you. So with her being a tall white and Arcturian, completely makes sense. Yeah, so let me get back to my spiritual team. She's making fun of me. And my whole spiritual team that I've mentioned is here. Also, the Arcturians, tall whites, and Pleiadians are here. And they're always assisting me. I am Pleiadian, tall white, and Arcturian with a heavy, heavy influence of Pleiadian. Now, I have promised everyone that I would come on and talk about that, and I want to. It's just that there's been so much going on. I made the Ukraine video. Cheslie has been wanting to talk to me, and I have a list of people who want to talk to me. So I'm really sorry that I keep promising I'm going to talk about the galactic influences, and I will. And also, it helps if you're very into spirituality to watch me, if you're on the spiritual path, because what I say will make more sense. In fact, I think that if you're not on the spiritual path and you just want to know what happened to Cheslie, I mean, maybe someone could timestamp it, but some of this stuff might just be weird or boring for you. So anyway, back to my spiritual team. I really want to also mention Archangel Azrael has been with me. Archangel Azrael is just really good for bothersome details, praying to Archangel Azrael. And I have a connection with Archangel Azrael too. That's a story for another day, but anything to do with like lawsuits, the law, things like that, Archangel Azrael will help you with if you would like to pray. And Archangel Azrael is also a male and female energy. So if that resonates with you, and oh, this is interesting, of course, Cheslie. So Cheslie was a lawyer, so Archangel Azrael is like represents the law, and Archangel Azrael has incarnated as twin flames, and I've mentioned this in my Janis Joplin video, that Janis Joplin was the spirit of Archangel Azrael, but that spirit is a twin flame spirit, and they are incarnated now, and they are both lawyers. Well, the male energy is a lawyer, and he's married to a paralegal. So anyway, that's why we're really focusing on that. Cheslie was a lawyer. And she said yes at heart. And she's saying, yeah, also, she doesn't want to diminish that. She was also, you know, a beauty queen. She loved fashion. She loved music. And so let me get into her biography. See how this works, guys? It's not very organized. So let me go back to her actual physical biography. So Cheslie Kryst, she was 30 years old. She was born April 28th, 1991. And she passed January 30th, 2022. And I'm surprised that she came through so strong, or I was surprised, but now I understand, with her being a tall white and Arcturian, and me having that energy too, that we could connect. Guys, so you know, I'm finding out a lot of the people, I would say 90% of the people that I've channeled, I've known, and they're part of my like soul tribe, but Cheslie is not. I have not known her, like in a lifetime. She's saying like on the other side, yes, but not like on Earth. So, gosh, I hope there's, I'm sorry if you don't know this information. So, okay. So she was an American television correspondent, model, beauty pageant title holder, who was crowned Miss USA in 2019, attorney, like I said, and then correspondent for Extra, which she said she loved. And I did watch a clip of her, and she's just a total natural, you guys. So she started that job in October of 2019, and she had already won a daytime Emmy. So yay, I can't clap because I'm holding my phone, but that's awesome. That's awesome, Cheslie. So she was very accomplished. Before I came on tonight, I kept doing like little rituals. I always pray, but I mean like 24/7. Well, my spiritual team is with me 24/7, but so I lit frankincense, and when I say lit, I mean I just used it lightly. And that's something I'm going to get into. Jesus is really big on certain scents. And he's told me my scent is frankincense. And it's very biblical, and we'll talk about that at another time as to why that's my scent. But he says to use, guys, definitely use, and she agrees with this too, use what is it called? Incense and, Palo Santo and stuff like that. Use it very sparingly. He said, do not leave it burning. Any kind of smoke and things that are derived from smoke are not good for you, and you should use them in moderation. And in order to get the nice effect, for those of you who go to church, you'll notice that they just kind of walk through with it once and it just lingers in the air. And Jesus has said that's the intended use of incense. Okay. Tangents, guys. So, okay, let's get into Miss Cheslie. So it's been stated that she had high functioning depression. So she's saying sort of, and many of you will relate to this. And she said definitely many people with darker skin. So, you know, she laughed when she told me that. And she said that you know, most of us, and especially, she's going to get into it later, the African American community, are taken out of our natural habitat, and it causes some tiredness and depression-like symptoms. But for her, she was just very self-aware, so she told people that she had low functioning depression. She thought she had it, but it was more like exhaustion. And I'm reading some things here that I wrote down. So forgive me. I know a lot of people on YouTube like look at you the whole time, but I can't do that. So exhaustion, need for nature, need for connection, and need for fun. Now, why is Cheslie coming through? Like, why am I talking to her? Why am I a medium? So her specifically, she wants the truth. She wants to tell her truth. And I'm becoming like an advocate for, you know, people who have passed, and especially, I think almost everyone that I've channeled is galactic. So anyway, that's a whole ball of wax. I think it'll come back to me. There's one person that was an earth angel. Oh, I hate that. It just wears on me until I remember. All right, it'll come back to me. So anyway, she was giving me all of these, she was telling me, you know, sort of like what to do. Are you a little bossy? You know, in order to prepare my space, which then she said that's how she was. It's not that she was a perfectionist per se, but she liked everything really nice and neat in order. And she's saying that the reason that she's saying that is because, just to let you all know, guys, that can be a very positive trait. And yes, and they also come through. She wants to know, she's coming through with messages to help you all. That everything that is said, and I agree with this, everything I'm saying, I may seem like I'm just rambling, and you know, spirit might seem like they're rambling, but all of this is to help. It's to help people, because there are people I know right now who are out there who are going to hear her messages, and it's going to have like a validating effect on you, if that makes sense. So, which is very healing. And Spirit told me this tonight, that validation is a form of healing. If you feel like you don't have the energy at all to, heal someone, but you feel like you want to be a good person, you want to be a healer, validate them. So easy. They had a hard day. I'm sorry you had a hard day. Oh, that person treated you badly. I'm sorry that happened to you. Like, that sucks. As simple as that. So now let's get more into Miss Cheslie. She kept her private life very private, and this is going to, it was a good and bad thing. This is going to come back later when we talk about her passing. So, okay. Oh, let's go back here. So, she came through with Whitney. She said she will reincarnate soon. She said she had a happy life. She's reminding me, she's like, go back. She was very fulfilled. She loved her parents, and her family wasn't perfect, but she loved her family and she felt supported by them. And she felt loved and respected by her family, and she felt the same for them. And one of the reasons she's saying that is because she was successful, and she understands a lot of you don't have or didn't have that love and support. And so that's why she's saying that. It's not to brag and be like, oh, my family was so great. It's to let you all know she had a helping hand. And especially for those of you struggling, please understand that although, she was African American and she was mixed. She was Polish and African American, but putting that aside, she wants you all to know she had help. So the reason that she's saying that, and they always have a reason, is they don't want people to compare, because you don't know what advantages that other people have had. And she's saying that, there's this big issue with race right now, but something that's very complicated and not really being talked about so much, but it affected her passing and affected the reason she passed, is there's just a huge difference between how the ability to be successful when you've had support, and that causes friction and conflict with others who haven't been able to maintain success, and maybe they haven't put it they're not conscious of it, but seeing someone like Cheslie, who's already galactic, so that's upsetting to, or the type of galactic she is, that energy is upsetting to people who don't have it already. And then she had the family support and she had the success. So, and it was not only that she had the success, but it was like the way in which it manifested. If you want to watch old clips of her, it's very much, like a lot of star seeds, I should, could say, galactic, there was an ease. Sorry guys, let me, hold on. All right, let me move on. So yeah, she wants African Americans to look more deeply at issues. And she would like African Americans to analyze their strengths more, and if there's any sort of toxic behavior or like she's showing me like these young kids like drag racing. She's saying that these are like hidden talent sometimes. And I know this is a strange like stretch, but there's a lot of drama going on in the States now. There's a lot of inner city drama. And she showed me drag racing and how, like, as an example, there could be someone who's doing that and they could actually have the talent to be like a NASCAR driver, but they don't have the means, or it's like just the environment. And she would like everyone, but especially African Americans, to really look at your interests and go as far as you can in that direction. And again, she's with Whitney Houston. And if you want to watch the Whitney Houston video, Whitney talked a lot about that. So, okay. She said many African Americans need more sunlight, nature, swimming, better food, more exercise. And she loves TikTok. She said it's really helping the community. Like a lot of people have an outlet for dancing and like comedy and things like that. She said too much fast food around the corner. Oh, I hate when I do this. Around the corner after this. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Around the corner after this. All right. Better education, more opportunities, better healthcare, and to break free of trauma bonds with other races, substances, any kind of smoke, alcohol. So Spirit has told me this, and she's telling me this too. This applies to everyone, but especially with the African American culture, community, individuals. Everything that happened was a tragedy, and it's as much of a tragedy as, what happened in World War II. I don't want to flag my channel. What happened in World War II, what happened with my people. I'm Armenian. There was a genocide. So what happened was horrible, and the effects are still happening. The effects of it are still happening today. And one of the reasons why it's dragged out, and it is because of skin color, because their skin color, and then things that happened because of that, laws and stuff like that. But anyway, where we're at now, she's saying, in addition to all of the things that people have done to make things better, in addition to that, let's see. She's saying simply that and this applies to like star seeds too, but let's stick with that, African American community. Every little thing that you do that is not helpful, that is negative towards yourself, your body, your existence, is perpetuating what happened to you. So, and the opposite with every positive thing that you do. So, a lot of things that people might do when they're not when they're feeling disgruntled, or many of people in society have been tricked into thinking like the cool thing to do, or the hip, or the rebellious thing to do would be like, substances or smoke, or all kinds of things that, are considered like fun. And she's saying everything that you do that has a toxic effect on you is perpetuating the negativity that happened. And I don't know if that's really making any sense. It makes complete sense to me, but it's hurting. Anything that you do that's toxic is hurting yourself, and it's perpetuating what happened to you. So anything that you would do to make yourself really healthy and strong would be the opposite. And I know that it's like a tough pill to swallow, because a lot of the things that we're told, to treat yourself, it's like things that are actually bad for you. Some things are okay in moderation, like, food and things, but any sort of like, it's interesting because I'm coughing right now. I have asthma, and some people in my building were smoking in an enclosed area, and I walked into it and I just gasped like a huge amount of smoke, and I'm gonna be like this all night, sort of like wheezing and catching my breath. So it's interesting, of course, I understand, and I'm sure a lot of you do, it's not always it's not just a coincidence that this would happen right now. It's like I'm physically manifesting what she wants to talk about, and how this kind of like environment makes people sick, and it's the antithesis of what you want to do in the culture to make yourself stronger. And she's saying that in addition to this, like, she's talking to like she said about being in nature, the inner city is not the natural habitat for an African American coming from the country of Africa, where the food was more natural, and there was, this is not 100%, but it's just the environment that would be best for an African American is not the inner city. And she's saying there are actually people who thrive better in the inner city. So that's like a whole subject. Maybe I'll try to talk about that at another time. I'll sort of investigate, what they mean. Okay. She is saying that the world is more, and Spirit has told me this too, the world is more classist than racist. And if you want to think about that statement, just think about celebrities and people who have money. And one thing she wants to bring up about like how some men in the African American community try to rebel by like not wearing suits. And she says it's important to dress for success, that people worldwide of every color, nationality, when they want to get into politics, the law, business, they dress well and speak well. And, that's something that if you're trying to rebel, that it can hold you back. So she's like, some of the clothes that African American guys are wearing, the hoodies are kind of sloppy if it's too much. The men are wearing like too many female colors. They're wearing women's clothes to be funny. And she said there's a time and place for that, especially like if you're a singer, like you're she's saying like in the entertainment industry, and it's cutesy, like, wearing like a lady's backpack and stuff. But it is feminizing the African American male, and that's further perpetuating the crimes that were done. She's calling it crimes. So she's like, if you're an African American male watching this, you might want to think about that. Like, are you really wearing and doing what you want, or is it just sort of this like stab at rebelling? Like I think many of you will understand. Now she's saying if you identify as female, that's an exception. And if you feel like as an African American male that you really want to be in touch with your feminine side, then by all means, dress that way. And, look at Michael Jackson. He liked pink. And so it's not that. But she's saying there are circumstances where this is holding certain men back. And these are men that are masculine. So what can happen there is a frustration, and that could lead to aggression. So she's also saying that many African Americans are Arcturian, and that's giving you, that's a galactic influence, and that's giving the talent in fashion. Funny, we're just talking about that. Fashion, music, being like loving and spiritual. She's saying like the ladies' man. She showed me like from Saturday Night Live, but that's real. Like, that's a very sweet, awesome advantage. I don't know if, it's an advantage in life of helping you in the romance department, but it's just like a nice, sweet personality trait. And, she said being peaceful, being groovy. And then, some African Americans are mixed, part Arcturian, part reptilian. And then, there's a whole mixture, can be tall white. I've channeled 2 African Americans who were Pleiadian, but there is a bent towards Arcturian and an Arcturian reptilian mix. And that's where you'd have sort of a very savvy, like, performer. Think of maybe you're like Rihanna. But we'll get into that a whole other time. And she said the ancestors are angry at some of the energy of the African American community now, because like she said, every negative thing you do further continues the abuse that was done against us. So she said African Americans really need to support each other. She referred back to Whitney Houston again, with parenting. Yes. And it's this idea, and some of the parenting is very simple, like I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small. And this is really, really important. I highlighted this. She said, never call your child stupid, because they will believe you. I'm going to repeat that. Never call your child stupid, because they will believe you. She said, where society is right now, and Spirit has told me this too, there is a trend of interracial dating, and it's good, because all of the groups right now are having issues within their own group. So with more towards the white culture, we have this thing called MGTOW, men going their own way, which is a really negative influence. And then some in the African American community, there is a struggle with men and women, but the absolute best goal, and hopefully humanity will reach this with African Americans, is to heal, and to heal each other in relationships. And she laughed, and she said she sees that as a real challenge. And she said, not stupid, and she was laughing. She's a really beautiful spirit, you guys. So she did this. We're getting into her passing now, and I know it's been a long time, but she wanted you to hear her messages. So let's get to her passing. So, you know, it was here in New York. Just gonna flip around to my notes, because I had actually written what happened in the beginning, because she told me right away. That was like the first thing she told me. So she passed January 30th, 2022, in Midtown Manhattan. So let me go back to the beginning of what I wrote here. So she was friends with this guy, and I'll tell you about him. And she was kind of helping him out, showing him the ropes of how to be in the business. And they were hanging around with each other that night. And so let's go back to how she was super private. Well, that kind of worked against her a little bit in this circumstance, because she didn't tell anyone what she was doing fully that night. And it's like she was too private. People didn't know about this friend she had, and it was truly a friend in her eyes, not friends with benefits. And so he wanted to take, it was late at night, he wanted to take the friendship to the next level. She didn't know this. And so I actually wrote more details. Let me find that. Okay, so that guy that she was with, interestingly enough, he wasn't really spotted, because he was wearing that outfit, that sort of dark hoodie, indescript outfit, mask, all of that. And it wasn't really, he wasn't really spotted. And that's, she's saying, guys, that's sort of like a bad thing too, is everybody looks the same. Lots of crimes are being committed, and nobody can see anyone's face with these hoodies and masks. And then everybody's wearing that. It's just a mess. So she said that guy is an actor. He lives in Brooklyn. She's very specific. 33. He's 33. African American. It was really cold that night. And he was not picked up on camera, or, you know, maybe they could double check, but he was joking around with her, and he said, like, what if I told you I had a crush on you? And she laughed it off. She said she's very naive, too friendly, too trusting. And she said it's weird because she was so private, but she put herself in harm's way. And then also, many people in the African American community get approached, and she was approached a lot to help. And she was approached by a group that this guy knows into, they wanted her to invest in cryptocurrency. And, people just wanted a lot of help. And she helped, but she also had her limitations, and also was not feeling like this was her soul tribe. And, there's only so much energy that she could give. And she was being guilt tripped a lot. And, let's go back to her feeling like she had advantages. So there's the guilt there. But that made him mad because she laughed it off. And he quickly was like, said to himself, like, who does she think she is? She thinks she's better than me. She's been leading me on. And he pushed her. And, he had been drinking and doing some stuff. So he wasn't fully in his right mind. It was late. In his mind, he felt that he had invested a lot in her, but it was actually, he hadn't. They were friends, and she was investing in him by helping with her advice, but it wasn't so much appreciated because he had an agenda. And so there really was nothing she could have done to make him feel better except his, sort of roundabout flirtations, which she wasn't going to do because she wasn't attracted to him in that way. And then him sort of pussyfooting around, even if there was attraction, that would lessen it. So this is a lesson to guys. Try to be more straightforward. And I could hear men saying, well, then you just get rejected. But it's kind of part of the program. Anyway, I don't want to give a whole lecture on that. But she said this guy is a covert narcissist. He will not go on to be an actor. It's not meant for him. She said he'll probably go into real estate. And then about the pre-will that they found, it was just, she wants you to think of it this way, guys. It was not a note, an S note, if you will. I can't say that word on my channel, but it was not like her last words. It was just, she was trying to get organized. And it's like doing your taxes, starting a will. Many people worry about this, having it in their house, like starting a will on paper. And so many people procrastinate doing it. And so that's where she was at. She wanted to write out a will, so she could leave her family everything, but she procrastinated because it's like a pain. And but she figured, with how she was doing well, she really wanted to do that. So she just started it on a notebook and was going to get a lawyer, a special lawyer to write it up and everything. But it by no means was a farewell note. She said she would never hurt her family like that. And one of the things she's most upset by, she doesn't think her family's going to see this, that it's not their thing, but is that they would think that she was that unhappy with them and the life, or even unhappy, not that unhappy, she's clarifying, but that she was unhappy with them and the life that they gave her, because that was not true. And now she wants, and guys, if I'm just sort of saying this like I'm talking about the weather, I've already really talked to her about this and felt the heavy emotion. And I worry so much about the messages and my audience, and if like, you know, I'm rambling too much, that it might seem like I'm not feeling this, but I am. Like, I've already felt it with her, and I don't mean to, I hope I don't sound callous, and especially if you're feeling it. And pray to Cheslie. If you're watching this, maybe you have a connection to her. Pray to her. She said she'll help you. You know, if especially if you feel a connection and you feel like you want to do some things in life she did, pray to her and listen to her answers. But moving on, some advice is, she said, don't spend time alone with people until you trust them. And that's especially if you feel, especially, I don't know where that came from, especially if you feel like you might be a starseed or a helper, whatever you want to call it, empath, very spiritual. You know, there is a dark energy in the world. We are experiencing spiritual warfare. Don't set yourself up. Don't spend time alone with people you don't know very well or you don't fully trust. Even then, try to spend time in groups. There are more witnesses in groups. This is not to make people paranoid, but we can just see all kinds of shady things that happen to people. And it's not just getting hurt or worse. You know, people can accuse you of saying things you didn't say, especially if there's an imbalance of power or imbalance of money or talent. You know, and it can go both ways. The more, excuse me, guys, I'm so tired. But like the more high status person, you know, it could violate the less person with less status. And I've done videos on that. But you know, the opposite could be true too if someone has an agenda. And she said, if you have a date, make sure it's in a public place. Let people know your plans. Says work on your goals. Find close companions if you can to help you achieve your goals. She did a lot of things on her own. That she liked that too, but she could have used a little help. And definitely if you're famous, be extra careful. Get extra security, guys. And I'm sure some people on this channel, the direction that I went in with Spirit, talking about security and stuff, I'm sure people think that I'm, you know, too much in that area. And with what's going on in the world right now, Spirit saying no, you know, whatever you can get to protect yourself, do it. You know, those ring cams, whatever you can do. And she said she was way too trusting. And I'm just going to go through my notes and see if I missed anything or if she wants to say anything. She's just a really beautiful spirit, you guys. It's very light, like it's like whipped cream. She had a lightness about her, and almost like genteel, although she was fierce. And Archangel Metatron is coming through right now, and okay, Brittany Murphy is here. They are similar, like Brittany Murphy. You guys can watch, there are YouTube clips of her. Brittany was like Cheslie, amazing at those press conferences, or whatever they're called, where all the cameras are there. And it's because they're star seeds. Their spirit was light, and like I said, like whipped cream. So Muhammad Ali is coming through. He's like, what is it? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's the Arcturian energy coming through. And it's very like Michael Jackson, and then she was also a tall white. She was fierce, guys. And that's why Muhammad Ali is with her, because he's the same. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, guys. Float, and especially in this time period. And they're saying there's been struggles throughout the ages. This is really interesting right now, what we're struggling with. It's tricky. We don't know like who the enemy is and where they're coming from. It's like we're in constant battle. It's really having an effect on us. She wants us to take care of our health, pay attention to our surroundings, protect ourselves, and they're all sort of grouping together and kind of just saying their piece. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. 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 All right, that's it, you guys. Good night.